yeah, good hot and cold. It's great.
Yeah. All right, man. So it looks like we are now streaming live. Hey, the Florida Wrestling. How are you? Here we are again. Dan, forgot to put a hat on, but at least I brushed my hair. And so I'm here with the one and only Travis Cleary, head wrestling coach over at Boone, locally in the Central Florida area. And I'll kind of let him touch on his background, his wrestling heritage. A lot of people know who he is, and then we'll get into his season and then some other stuff. So, hey, Trav, man, thanks for coming on, buddy.
Oh, no problem at all, man. It's great seeing you. Great seeing the boys. Yeah, I'll try and keep the wrestling heritage real short, but yeah, me and my brother were wandering around after school one day, and one of our senior state champions just came and dragged us out of the hallway. It's like, you guys are coming to try wrestling today. So, and we just kind of stuck with it after that. But yeah, it was definitely an experience, starting 7th and 8th grade, getting thrown into varsity. Like, we came from a K through 12 school where if there was an open weight, you're getting thrown in. So yeah, we got thrown to the wolves early, bounced around a little. Yeah, but then we had some real good success at the end. Like, we had a very strange path to it, but we got real lucky with coaches along the way, partners along the way. And, I had an older brother that was within 10 pounds of me the whole way. So that was a great ride.
And you both just beat the crap out of Elijah, right?
Oh, yeah. He had a terrible, he's loving his days today when he can beat the pants off us. But, yeah, he had it rough. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. And totally different styles, too. Like, you can see when you guys are in the room, you're very technical. Elijah's obviously was groomed a lot by Palazzo, so you can see the Lake Highland prep kind of moves and knee down and the underhooks and the over. And then your other brother is he was fun to watch in there with Dan.
Yeah, he's all metal, man. Yeah, just that block, each full gung-ho the whole time.
Well, that's awesome, man.
And I guess that's the back half of my wrestling story because, my college career, while I did go to wrestle and finish college, I never took it crazy seriously or, really committed the time that I needed to be successful. But in my college career not being so great, it allowed me and my older brother all the time in the world to go back home, wrestle with Elijah. We even took 2 years off, and that was my first head coaching job at Jupiter Christian. We had a whole bunch of success, and that's where Elijah first started wrestling. So he did 7th grade. We got him on the map for the first time. 8th grade, he got 6th at state. 9th grade, 5th at state, and then we sent him to Lake Highland, and it was second, first, OSU, all the great things he's done since.
And that speaks a lot to you and your brother and your mom and your family because you guys kind of put your life on hold to focus on him, and it's paid off.
Yeah, that was, wrestling's been great for that, keeping us all together. It's something if one of us ever drags too far away from it, everyone else is always, chirping about it, so you can't get too far.
So then you end up as one of the club coaches at CFWA and the assistant coach on the staff, right?
So assistant coach at Lake Highland, assistant coach at CFWA. So I got finished with Coker. I finished my wrestling career, stayed up there, finished an extra semester to help coach the guys. And then, came back in. And Joe Silva was the one who texted me because he was right about to leave for college. He's like, hey, come get beat up real quick. I need some bodies to work with. And then Mike just hawked me as soon as I got in the room. He's like, what are you doing? You're home, you ain't wrestling? What are you doing? Come here and work. So,
Oh, good. And of course, the rest is history. So now you're over at now you're taking.
It was crazy transition, but I'm just super respectful. Couldn't have learned more in a year of wrestling than I did with Mike. And not technical stuff or wrestling stuff and all that, but just how to manage 100 people coming into your club every day, and get a 3-mat facility, and keep your goals so consistent that you're willing to call your wrestlers every single night, all 20 of them, and see how they're doing, if they're keeping up on their stuff. He's a motivator for sure.
Yeah, and it obviously says a lot. I know that one of the really big things that helped you transition to head coaching was kind of his blessing and just saying, hey, do it. Go do what you want to do.
Yeah, because state tournament last year was just a strange time. Like we didn't peak the way we wanted to. I mean, 5 state champions is, absolutely nothing to shake a head at. But yeah, and it just, especially just walking around the state tournament, just hearing, all my former peers and coaches, tell me I need to go out there and get a program started, then hearing it from Mike and, and I was waiting until, like, I don't want to go somewhere, go for a year and then back out and hop on another. Like, I want to see these Braves through at least, a 4-year span of freshman through senior. So, yeah.
Well, and you can definitely see your personality and your fingerprint on the program. I know the tournaments that we were able to be at, you can see how the kids are just kind of glued to you and love you. And you had it looks like you had a really good first season. I mean, second in your districts, 10 advanced to regionals, 3 qualified for states. You had a Metro Conference champion, 2 top 10 finishes at some big tournaments, and a top 5 finish at the Bill Scott, which is another big tournament. So it seems like you're taking it in the right direction. You had a couple all academic award winners there,
yeah.
and then you got the girls program that you're building. And so talk about your first season.
I know you got the girls on this afternoon, so yeah.
So talk about your first season. Yeah, your first season.
But so just like I was super late to the game, just didn't realize how long getting in the system took, because I worked at a private school before, so it was just sign your papers, get your background check, and you're in. But so I got there literally the day preseason started, so I wasn't able to set up a booth, get more wrestlers, walk around the halls, be like, hey, you want to give this a shot? So I just, whatever I was handed is what I got. But I mean, I got a lot. It was like, I think we got 60 kids, out for the preseason. We trimmed it down to about 40, which, stayed the whole season. After like the first 3 weeks, I don't think we had one person quit.
Well, that's awesome.
Oh, yeah, but just, crazy going from a massive 3-map facility where everything's yours, no sharing stuff with teams. You can go work out, literally any time of the day, to where now I've got, look at that sucker.
It is.
But I've been at this place where, like I'm working with state champions, nationally ranked kids every day. Like college kids are coming in every other week for me to work with. And now I'm in a room where 3 kids know what a high crotch is. No one can do 50 push-ups. Like none of them have ever won a big match in their life. So it's like, I get all these moments with them. It's, and after so long on the wrestling scene, like it's so nice finally having that, like proof of concept, I guess, stick it out. Like I barely had assistants this year. Had a couple guys peek their head in the room, but I mean, I ran a JV, girls, varsity. It was rough.
You went from a top 5 room in the country.
Yeah, to probably
your own program.
Head of the state, yeah.
But that's good because you'll get your blood in there and you'll get your sweat, and I'm sure once you get your brothers in there, and I'm sure Elijah wants to come and help you during the summers. I saw him there at the beginning of the year. I saw him helping you at some tournaments. So, and that's got to be great for young kids, because I remember when my son got to meet him, a guy
exactly.
Their eyes are wide open. They get to train with an NCAA Division I, Big Ten. I mean, doesn't get any better than that.
One of the recent best out of Florida, yeah. And I mean, like that's where I got lucky too as a coach. Like not only as a competitor, but as a coach. Like I got 2 brothers right around my age that are both, extremely high level wrestlers. And that's been our whole plan since forever and ever, is to triple up on a program and see what we could do with it. But yeah, so Elijah's got another year, and then he's probably going to do a graduate assistantship somewhere, I would assume, go coach and get that next degree. But yeah, we'll see.
That's cool. I know he wants to do kind of marketing and photo shoots and things like that. He was saying
film. We're
that's awesome.
Yeah, we got this little pipe dream of getting some movie stuff together. So
that's cool. That's cool. Hey,
I the one that took the initiative to go and
Hey, I got the first movie to him, man. The Jeremy Garcia story. Man, that kid did you see him yesterday on here, man?
Yeah, man.
To go from a coma to up and walking. So awesome, man. So you've grown. You've got a big wrestling family. You're over at Boone. You're putting your fingerprints on that program. now going into the off season, which we know is the most important time of the year, and we're stuck doing this. So what are you and the kids doing? What are you and the team doing? What are you advising them?
Yeah, so I mean, just first off, it's just a heartbreaker. Like, I just get these kids. We just got over the hump. Like, I got one of my first year wrestlers to states. Like, we're finally making our big leaps. And then just, I've made all these promises. Hey, we're going to club. We're going to Disney. We're going all here. And like, it's all these kids' first real off season of wrestling. And now it's like, man. But I mean, to keep up with it, like, I do workouts every day, and I got a little mat behind me in the house. So I'll film some drills, film some push-ups, and
and
stick together 10 or 12 calisthenics and piece
if you look up, you see Connor Beebe's putting some stuff on there for the kids and different videos and mats, and so I know a lot of kids have been on there. And then it's amazing. Like I had Connor on, he's like, I can't believe what the NCAA community or the wrestling community has just come full force to help these kids. I mean, you're seeing All-American put videos out for the kids. And
yeah, because I mean, it's just the worst time. Like, I was right about to hop on the plane and go up to Minnesota to watch nationals, like, 3-4 days away, go see my little brother. I haven't seen him since Christmas. Like, and then we were going to go to girls nationals with my girls. Like, we had, all these plans back to back to back to back. And now it's like,
yeah, Donnie was going to take Daniel to the national high school he was like, hey, I just want to take you there so you can.
Oh yeah, that's what my kids were missing all year, is that that big experience. Like, you don't get those state tournament simulations here in Florida, but maybe like the Super 32 qualifier, a Father Divine, like once or twice in the off season.
Yeah, I'd like to ask you about that too, because I had Tobia on the other day, and I don't know if you got to catch the interview, but I had Tobia on, and I know that there's a lot of what you look to do with your program that Mike has done with his. And the one big thing that Tobias said was, I wasn't nervous about coming back to Florida and wrestling at this big weight, because the experience of being around the country was amazing. So talk about how important it'll be, kind of take that next step and get your team and your athletes kind of to these big tournaments. How's that going to help you take the next step?
Absolutely. And it was like, this year we just didn't have the budget, didn't have the talent to like even attend a knockout or like, a real tough tournament here in Florida, because it would just be, my guys getting thrashed for a lot of money. But
I know the feeling.
But I mean, it's money well spent. It's always money well spent. But that's the biggest thing, is like, the strength and conditioning program. That's why Mike's the head and tails above everybody. It's not technique. Well, it's commitment, and then that strength and conditioning program. But that's the big one, is like, especially learning from Mike, is like, you have to go get 2 or 3 big out-of-state tournaments a year, to where that state tournament doesn't feel like it's an overwhelming feeling. It's, just another big tournament you're at.
So are you definitely
you can never fully take off that edge. Like, it is,
right.
It's the show, but
So are you definitely someone that says to new head coaches or wrestling head coaches, try and schedule something big outside of the state once a year if you can? Or are you somebody that says, hey, let's try and get some bigger tournaments here and keep some of the top talent local?
I mean, especially in the off season, you got to take at least, one trip a summer, like to see what the greats are doing, to have that, that big wrestling experience. That's what these kids remember long after all the other stuff, like that bus trip up to Virginia, for cadet nationals or whatever. But
yeah, Daniel still talks about going to Michigan.
Oh yeah, exactly. They're the best. But, I mean, as far as in season, you got to, Mike says you got to gauge yourself appropriately. So like, you do need to know, like, all right, if we're going to take this 16-hour drive, like, really, what are our chances of success? Like, would we have done better getting our butt beat in Florida instead of, driving up to Camden, or like, I don't know what experience, right? Anymore, but you got to go somewhere to get a good tournament these days.
Just for mat time, right?
Oh yeah. Well, and that's the beauty too, is Florida's picking back up. Like, my generation's hopping into coaching, like Ison over at Palmetto Ridge, and I saw Needham took over a school somewhere, and I took over at Boone. Like, Lake Mary just got a nice young coach. Like, So my generation's starting to file back in, and you see guys like Basile getting back involved real heavy, American Heritage Delray popping back up. So I think now the competition in Florida is better than it was the past few years, because especially in Elijah's time in Florida, because that's the last I really watched it before coming back. Like, there just wasn't the depth that there is now. Like, now we're back down to where 1 through 6 are all extremely good wrestlers, where like there was a couple of years where those 5th and 6th places would be, you know, a first-year wrestler or someone who's, you know, lucked their way into the podium.
Yeah, I'm going to do I'm going to do kind of a panel with Nick and Ricky on Wednesday I have some and given me lists of like the next up and coming middle schoolers.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and get on Wednesday, and I'm just going to kind of fire the names at them and have them talk a little bit about them and what they see, and just kind of get their names, you know, talk about, so that the Florida West, because there's some great kids out there that he was telling me about that are young at all these different clubs. So a lot of guys have been reaching out, one in particular, and he's just been saying, hey man, we really need to start to, you know, get these kids' names out there so that as they start to hit the high school mats and the high school levels, you know, there's exceptions. There's the kid at 106 at Lake Island that won it all. And then there's a few kids that won it all that are middle schoolers. But other than that, there's a lot of good, like you said, a lot of upcoming kids that are coming into the program. I'm sure you've seen some over at Boone that you're trying to get in the room. And
oh yeah, like, you know, I've got, you know, 20 phone numbers of parents I've met at tournaments and stuff, because I've been plugging this thing every tournament. I go up to everybody, hey, I got a club coming this summer, you know, come wrestle with me. But yeah, it's tough. Like, it's brutal. But I mean, for the middle schoolers, like, yeah, that is huge. Like, you know, they do need, you know, like that level of recognition, like, because it's hard just, you know, especially at the youth level, you just have to sit around and practice. And maybe you'll wrestle once a month, or like maybe you'll go to Tulsa once a year. But yeah, it's definitely something that where, you know, I mean, I'm not going to spearhead it, but someone with a middle school child needs to, you know, step up big.
Yeah, and it's amazing because the names that they were naming, and then the ones that were all in FHSAA states already, was incredible when I was reading it. But it's awesome, man. I always look forward to seeing you at these tournaments. I'm always looking for that orange and blue.
Man.
Come by and say hello. And so you had a couple kids. I know you had that one kid that was that made some noise. I think he was a senior, right? So he moved on.
Yeah.
But you had some good younger kids that look like they're really going to compete next year.
Yeah, and no offense to my returners, but yeah, it's nice. My young ones, man, like they just, you know, it's all my mentality, all my technique, and they're real hungry. All the ones are starting to get the picture, but they're, you know, they're getting there. But yeah, I hope we'll be real competitive next year. I mean, the sooner this clears up, the better, because there's nothing else I want to do right now than to get the Braves back up and rolling. And, you know, like, man,
yeah, I think everybody feels that way.
Oh yeah, of course, and you know, to beat up Dan too.
Yeah, he wants to get beat up. Like, he just wants to get back on a mat.
I know.
For his size, he wants to go to camps. He wants to just be involved. As a matter of fact, I was just the assistant coach up at App State, Coach LeBlanc. I was texting him to get him on here because Daniel just loves the camps up there, and it'd be a good platform for him to talk to you and different coaches to.
Oh yeah.
Some Florida kids up there and in the camps. That'd be fun. Well, I'll let you know if we end up going up there. Maybe some kids can come.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I've always pushed those App State camps, you know, like very, very reasonable right there in North Carolina, and Boone's just beautiful. Like, it's a surprisingly good spot.
Yeah, you don't want to come home now. Daniel keeps saying, I'm gonna wrestle to get there. Like, hey, I'm rooting for you, kid.
Yeah, we got an alumni here in Orlando. He's one of my buddies. He's a paralegal, so he doesn't have any time for wrestling. But I mean, he talks great stories. Said it was the best experience ever. Like, yeah, App State. It's definitely, you know, it's a rich history of wrestling, especially for Florida wrestlers. Like, I think that's where Ball Maceda went, and a couple other, you know, really tough dudes that have come back and made a dent.
It's awesome, man. And so hey. Travis Cleary, I've been asking some more, just the 10 questions that old Ricky does. And
I'm ready to go.
But one thing, let me find it. I should have it up always. One thing is Boone Wrestling, man. Look out for Boone Wrestling, man. They got a great coaching staff, a great program, good kids, and you know, Trav is there and building the program. So if you're somebody that lives in the district, check him out. Hey, so or move to his district.
Yeah, and then, you know, keep a lookout for us this summer. We'll be Dobus Wrestling Club whenever all this madness gets sorted out. But yeah, we'll have a mat to wrestle on over at Boone, you know, as soon as we can. So
awesome. So folk or freestyle?
I'm a tilter. I got to go folk style. All tilt or nothing.
All right. Headgear or no headgear?
No headgear. Yeah.
Singlet or two-piece?
Singlet. Yeah, singlet.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coffee. I'll go coffee.
Coffee. I like coffee. Ice cream cake or birthday cake?
Yeah, Publix cake, man. The Publix birthday cake. Can't beat it.
Good stuff. Salt water or fresh water?
Salt water.
Rap or country?
Rap.
Car or pickup?
I'll probably take the car. Yeah.
Popeyes or Chick-fil-A?
Popeyes.
Ocean or swimming pool?
I'll go ocean.
Penn State, Ohio State?
I'll go Bucks, man. Yeah. My coach is a Penn State alum, so I'm split. But yeah, Bucks right.
Yeah, that's
They're
awesome.
coming for you next year. Watch out.
Love it, man. Love it. Hey, I look forward to having Elijah on here and getting him back in town. Seeing him, and I appreciate it, man. And definitely let me know when you're up and running. I'll bring Dan by to visit.
Oh, absolutely, man. You guys stay safe, and thanks for getting this all together, man. It's way too cool.
Yeah, man, I'm having a good time.
All right, man.
See you, pal.